Check, 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 check. One, two. Check, one, two, three. Check. Check, 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 check.
strength, strength like no other, strength like no other reaches to me. You are my strength, strength like no other, strength like no other reaches to me. In the fullness of your grace, in the power of your name, you lift me up. You lift me up. In the fullness of your grace, in the power of your name, you lift me up. You lift me up. You are my strength, strength like no other, strength like no other reaches to me. You are my strength, strength like no other, strength like no other reaches to me. In the fullness of your grace, in the power of your name, you lift me up. You lift me up. In the fullness of your grace, in the power of your name, you lift me up. You lift me up. Unfailing love, stronger than mountains, deeper than oceans, reaches to me. You are my strength, strength like no other, strength like no other reaches to me. Lord, I will lift mine eyes the source of my strength, and you're the strength of my life. I lift my hands in total praise to you. You are the source of my strength. You are the strength of my life. I lift my hands in total praise to you. You are the source of my strength. You are the strength of my life. I lift my hands in total praise to you. You are the source of my strength. You are the strength of my life. I lift my hands in total praise to you. When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, is well, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well, it is well with my soul. it's all over, when it's all over, I shall see his face. I shall see his face. Oh, his face. When it's all over, when it's all over, I'm going to put on my robe, tell the story how I made it over. I'm gonna put on my robe, tell the story how I made it over. I'm gonna put on my robe and tell the story how I made it over. I'm gonna put on my robe and I'll tell the story how I made it over. Oh, soon as I get home, soon as I get home, oh, soon as I get home. Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Oh, what a foretaste of glory divine, heir of salvation, purchase of God, born of his spirit, washed in his blood. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story, and this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is Savior all the day long. If you know that, sing that with me. This is my story. This is my song. Praising, praising my all the day long. This is my story. This is my song. Praising, praising my Savior all the day. Come on, one more time. This is my storm. This is my song. Praising, praising my Savior. This is my story. This is my song. Praising, praising my Savior all the day long.
All right. Can you guys hear me? All right. I want to welcome everyone to the services of Don Hurd. Thank you to all that have traveled from afar, and it may have been a journey to get here, but let's be grateful for today. Yeah. I'm Don's nephew, and he will be deeply missed. But right now, we would like to get a Word of God sermon from Father Dennis Kagozi.
And we begin our prayer in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. May the Father of mercies, the God of all consolation, be with all of us here. And my brothers and sisters, we have come together to renew our trust in Christ, who by dying on the cross has freed us from eternal death, and by rising has opened for us the gates of heaven. Let us pray for Don, that he may share in Christ's victory, and let us pray for ourselves, that the Lord may grant us the gift of his loving consolation. And so, let us pray. O God, to whom mercy and forgiveness belong, hear our prayers on behalf of your servant Don, whom you have called out of this world. And because he put his hope and trust in you, command that he be carried safely home to heaven and come to enjoy your eternal reward. We ask this through Jesus Christ, your Son, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, God forever and ever. Amen. And we hear a reading from the Gospel according to John. Jesus said to his disciples, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. You have faith in God. Have faith also in me. In my Father's house there are many dwelling places. If there were not, would I have told you that I'm going to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back again and take you to myself, so that where I am, you also may be. Where I am going, you know the way. Thomas said to him, Master, we do not know where you are going. How can we know the way? Jesus said to him, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Don and all Don's family, we stand with you this afternoon in your sorrow, in our sorrow at the death of Don. As we pray for him, as we pray for his eternal joy and peace, we also pray for you, for your consolation. We pray for your peace as you face, as we all face days, weeks, months, years ahead without Don in this life as we know it. I have known Don more as Don, not as Donny B. But I think Donny B sounds better, and I think it fits him better, the Don that I know, because of his swagger, He seemed young even in his, later years, and even with his pains, the pains that he experienced every day in life, health pains. So I also came to know him when he was already working with the youth. I believe he was the perfect man for the job that he had, and I think he just was the right person to work with young people. He just had a way about him, his goodness, his integrity, his compassion. And I remember many stories he told me, because his job included a little bit of danger, however you can define that. But he knew how to handle that. And in the conversations, even though some of the young people would really be bad, almost evil in relating to him, but he always had a way of talking about them, not dissing them, not talking bad about them, just knowing that their histories, their lives, the way they came to be, they had histories that he was trying to help to correct. So he was just the perfect person, not only in the way he related to them, but also his life given to them in such amazing service to them. It would be amiss for me not to comment on your relationship, with Don, how you've walked with him to the very end. When I visited in the last months, when he was in the different health facilities, even in the hospital, I would always wonder after visiting how much life he had. And then I would see you later at church, and you were very confident of that he was all right. And yes, he would be. He would be somehow he survived for a while. But I was just amazed of how much the commitment you kept on giving to him, which I shouldn't be amazed, because that's the vow you two took when you got married. The love you shared, the life you shared, and it was so evident to the very end. It's beautiful for all who knew, who saw what you did. A very great example of true married love. And as we pray for him, we know the journey ahead, without him here, is going to be hard. But yet, your faith, I believe, tells you that we will see him again. And indeed, as we reflect on that gospel that we heard, Jesus says, do not let your hearts be troubled. And it's hard for us human beings in the loss of a loved one, when we know that he's not going to be here physically like we knew him, like we've loved him, like we've related to him. It's hard not to be troubled. But yet, we have faith, like he said. We have faith in him. Beyond the love, the friendship that brings us here this afternoon, there is faith. Faith in God. Faith in God who gave us life. Faith in God who indeed gave us Don. Faith in God who gave us what Don was. Because what Don was also was built not only on love, on hope, but also on that faith in God. I saw Don often at church in prayer. He expressed his faith coming to church, but I believe that's also the faith he carried into his work, working with young people. It's that faith he carried as he navigated life. It is that faith expressed in his love for you, his family. And so for us too, it is faith that we express here as we pray for him, as we remember him. We remember his faith, but we know that faith was expressed in his love for us, his relationship that he had with us. And as we go forward with faith. We go forward with hope. We remember him. We carry his memories, what he was, what he meant to us. But we carry that aware that he lived this life. He had pains and struggles, but somehow he was able to navigate through them, mostly because of his faith expressed in love and hope. We pray that we too, as we remember him, we may remember his compassion, remember his goodness, indeed remember his faith, remember his friendship, remember his love. May it help us whenever we remember him to think of how we ourselves live. That place, that dwelling that God has prepared for those who believe is lived. How we get there is now. It's not something that we wait for. It is now. And so how we live every day, we believe and we pray that Don is there in God's dwelling, but his getting there is not just because he died. His getting there is the life he lived here that paves the way for that. We pray that as we remember him, we may live in such a way, our love, our hope, our faith, that someday we may get to see dawn in heaven, in God's dwelling. Amen. We'll pray a prayer of intercession for dawn. God, the Almighty Father, raised Christ, his Son, from the dead. With confidence, we ask him to save all his people, living and dead. And our response to this prayer will be, Lord, hear our prayer. For Don, who in baptism was given the pledge of eternal life, may he now be admitted to the company of the saints in heaven. We pray to the Lord. Lord, hear our prayer. For our deceased relatives and friends, and for all who have helped us, that they may have the reward of their goodness, we pray to the Lord. For those who have fallen asleep in the hope of rising again, may they see God face to face, we pray to the Lord. For the family and friends of Don, that they may be consoled in their grief by the Lord who wept at the death of his friend Lazarus, we pray to the Lord. For all of us assembled here in faith, may we be gathered again in God's kingdom, we pray to the Lord. And together we pray as our Savior Jesus taught us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, now and forever. Amen.
Thank you, Father. Right now, we're going to take a few moments to read the obituary. We will read it in silence. will have a poetry reading from C. Austin III.
Good afternoon. My Aunt Dawn and Cousin Mickey wanted this selection read in memory and in remembrance and honor. And when reading this, I felt as if these were the words that Don wanted us to hear today. Like I'm the kind of person that has to hold this, so give me a second, all right? A limb has fallen from the family tree. And I keep hearing a voice that says, grieve not for me. Remember the best of times, the laughter, the song, the good life I lived while I was strong. Now continue my heritage. I'm counting on you. Keep smiling, and surely the sun will come through. As my mind is at ease, and my soul is at rest, remembering all how truly I was blessed. So continue traditions no matter how small. Go on with your life. Don't worry about falls. I miss you all dearly. So keep up your chin until the day comes we're all together again.
Thank you. So we'll open it up for family and friends to make their remarks and reflect on Uncle Don. Hold on, slow down, Tiger. That's my uncle there. So I want to take a few moments to reflect on my Uncle Don. That yellow car that y'all see on that picture, so when I was a kid, he sat me on his lap and taught me how to drive in Berryville, Virginia, on Josephine Street. I was not old enough to drive, clearly. I was way underage, but I just remember when I was young, Uncle Don used to go running. You know, he used to do jogging. He was really into health and things like that. And, you know, just like what was said earlier, he has a heart for young people. He's always had a heart for young people and just really wanted to make change. And it wasn't just talk. That's what he did. You know, that was his livelihood. I remember right before my 40th birthday, which was a few months ago, plus 8 years or so, I remember reaching out to my dad and a few of my uncles, and I was like, you know what? At this stage of my life, I cannot afford to make any mistakes. So any advice that you give me, I'm going to listen this time. And he poured into me all throughout my adult life, even when as a teenager. Gave me advice on when I was making my first purchase in my home, and relationship advice, guidance as a father, just all kinds of wisdom that he poured into me. And I remember when I lost my father in 2020, my dad was my best friend. You know, we talked all the time. And I remember on the phone with Uncle Don, just, you know, venting to him and expressing, you know, that hurt, that void that I'm going to have. He told me, he said, nephew, you got me. You got me. And I did. And I want to share with you the last conversation that we had the night that he went to the hospital. And we hooked up often. We would always link up for lunch, even before I moved away out of the city. But even back now, we would always link up at least once or twice a month or once every month. Either it was me and him or it was me and Donny and Marcus. But at this particular time, this was in November, we hadn't spoken, we didn't talk to each other for a few weeks. And he reached out to me. He texted me. He said, "What's up, Sean? Just checking in." I said, "Hey, what's up, Uncle Don? All is well over here. I had to go to West Virginia last week for a funeral. My dad's wife had passed. Other than that, we're good now. How are you all doing?" He said, "Sorry to hear that. May she rest in peace. Everything is good. I was sick for a couple of weeks. I was exposed to COVID. I got sick. Dawn was in California. I made it through." I said, "Glad you're feeling better. We all should get together again for a beer soon." "Yep, we do. What does Thursday look like for you?" I should be able to make something happen, maybe somewhere in the middle, like Easton or Short North. This is the part that made me laugh. He said, "Okay, LMC. Okay, let me check with Donny and Marcus." I was like, look at Uncle Don using abbreviations. You know, LMC. let me check. Yeah. And then we spoke. We had a brief, quick conversation over the phone, but that was the last exchange that we had. And then later that night, this was around 7:30. Later that night, I get a call from Marcus, my little cousin. Marcus never calls me. Donny always calls me. But when I got a call from Marcus, man, I just had a funny intuition, and that's when he said that, "Hey, my dad's in the hospital." I was like, "I'm on my way." And I'm just glad he's not suffering anymore. This is going to be a process, and Donny and Marcus, like I told you guys, I'm here for you, and I love you. And Dawn, I'm sincerely sorry for your loss, Mickey, as well. I love you all. To my family, I love you. It means so much to see y'all here, and I'm sure he's smiling. Thank you. Yes, anybody would like to come up and share some remarks and reflect on my Uncle Don? 2 minutes, sir.
Mr. Hurd, Don Hurd, I hope that you guys I'm talking. But I hope that you guys know that Don loves you guys. He was more than my brother-in-law. He was my brother. Now, I'm going to tell you something about those two guys back there. We went on vacation one year. This is going to make you laugh. They went on vacation one year, and Marcus kept calling 911. How old were they, Don? It was about, I guess, about 6. Kept calling 911. The police called us and said they call one more time. We're going to be there. Donny and Marcus, we was at the beach. They would not put their feet in the sand. We holding them down, and they twisted and wouldn't put their feet in the sand. And Don Hurd, we just had so many good times together. My wife and I, that's his sister, Judy, that he was married to, his first wife. And we always went on vacation. I can't talk anymore.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lynn Reynolds Andrews, Don's sister. I don't consider myself a sister-in-law, as well as my other 2 sisters who are here. He was our brother for almost 50 years. We loved him. He loved us. Donny and Marcus know the relationship we had, and we want you to know, Don, that we're here to support you as well. But we're all feeling the same way. We are going to miss Don, but we know what a wonderful man that he was. So God bless you.
Good afternoon. My name is Rufus. I am Don's oldest brother. My friends call me Fuss, but my family calls me Peaches. I had the pleasure of being born into a family with 4 other brothers. The oldest was 8, and we were all walking. My mother and father had 3 children in 25 months. May 15th, 1947, May 24th, 1948, June 27th, 1949. I guess they were pretty busy. But however, they were visionaries. All of us went away to live with grandparents. Gary and I went to Louisiana. Ralph went to Kentucky. And we didn't come back until August of 1954, where we met Everett. Everett was born while we were gone, about 5 or 6 months old. And then 15 months later, Don joined us. He was my mother's baby. He was our baby. He was a Christmas present because he was born right after Christmas. Man, it's the most wonderful young man that you ever want to meet. Nicest kid that you ever want to be. I don't think he ever got in a fight. Think about that. You got 4 other brothers older than you, and you never got in a fight. I don't know what that tells you. I know what it tells me. We wasn't going to let anybody hurt him because he was our baby. It's not surprising to me that he became the man that he became. He loved working with young people. Even when he was in the restaurant business, he was working with young people then. Then when he went back to when he went to the Y, he worked with young men that society threw away. He believed in second chances. Boy, society's going to miss you, baby brother. I'm so proud of him. He would introduce me to people that he had saved, and he was proud of them. But I was proud of him. Again, the world is going to miss you, baby brother. Our parents provided the environment of love, discipline, and safety. We were never hungry. We were never homeless. Now, a couple nights we ate pancakes made from scratch, brown sugar water for syrup, and we thought that was a delicacy. Pancakes for dinner? Didn't realize that my father hadn't come home from Columbus because he had to go to Columbus first and then come back on the weekends. We didn't have any money. But we ate good. Loved it. One time we ate off my brother's paper route. But we always had good food and good times to eat. You know, while growing up, we never said I love you a lot because it was already assumed, you know. We had 4 brothers, 6 people in the house with my mother. We had 7. We had a hot meal every day. Mandatory dinner between 6:30 and 7. We always ate as a family. I remember when he had his first episode, and when he recovered, I told him that I loved him. And he told me, I love you too. And for the next 18 years, every conversation we had was, I love you. And with that, rest in peace, baby brother. I love you.
second chances to. I've known Don for 50% of my life. I was 18 when I met him. And, the one thing I can say about Don is he was so consistent. And the word says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Don was stable. He was consistent every day. He was the same man always. Every time I talked to him, he was the same person. I said every time I talked to him, he was the same person. He never adjusted. Authenticity is so important, especially when you're dealing with the youth. I didn't think I'd be emotional up here because me and Don were so cool, and knowing him, he'll be joking about the fact that I got here late. He'll tell me slow down. When I was driving here, I could hear him. He's like, get there and safe. But if I got to him and when we got to talking, he'll probably make a joke about it. So, I didn't think I'd be emotional because of our relationship. But us as humans, we do have emotions, and when we care about people, it affects us when they're not with us. But I can't tell you how comfortable and how serious I am when I say that Don is okay. He's not hurting. I had some dreams. He's laughing in them. And he told me, he said, I'm okay. The last thing I'll say is he has affected every aspect of my life. For those who don't know the story, he was one of the few people that wrote a letter to keep me out of prison when I was 18. And I called him and said, years later, when I was getting ready to go to law school, I called him. Well, before I called him, just to kind of bring this out, and I promise I can talk about Don for an hour, so I promise I won't do that. But one day, I hadn't seen him in about 2 or 3 years, and I was in the barber shop, and he walked in, and I was like, man, that's Don Hurd. I said, that's the guy that helped me. And we talked for years. I mean, as long as I've known him, we cannot figure out how we met, which is weird. I was like, I don't know how I found you. I don't know. My mother's here. I think my mom had a conversation with him somehow, but I don't know how we met. But somehow we ended up in each other's lives. And I seen him walk into the barbershop. I was like, man, that's Don. And I told myself, I said, I'm not leaving this barbershop until I thank you. He was getting his hair cut. And I walked up on him before it was done. He kind of looked at me like I was some disgruntled kid that I had an issue with it. And I was like, nah, man. I just want to say thank you for what you've done for me. Don had care about people before anything else. Anytime we had a situation at work, I know I'm skipping stuff. I ended up working with him for about 7 or 8 years. But he always had a compass about what was important. We would have conversations at work, and he would say, I'm doing the Lord's work, man. I'm not going to be bent out of shape about things that are outside of that. Having a compass in the way that you live is imperative to having the peace that Don had. When I talk about consistency in his stories, consistency in his love, consistency in his care for his wife and his kids, his job, he was not different. So I just challenge all of us in here, when we look at people like Don, be consistent in your lives about the things that you care about. Be consistent about your belief in the Lord if you believe in him. Be consistent and intentional about what you do. All these people in here, I see faces in here that I met through him just because of his impact. Now I've gone on in my life and continue to grow and do other things. But when I tell you that, you know, the guy in that picture, I actually, you know, when I saw that picture on the obituary, you know, I just started smiling. Because that's him. Everything about him. So I'll turn it over to somebody else, but I just want to say, you know, family, you know, I love you guys. You know, we're going to all be okay, everybody in here. But just make sure that we stay, as I said again, I'm only saying it again because I don't know, the Lord's just telling me. Everybody be intentional and be consistent about your belief in the things that you care about in your life. It's important. So I love you, family. I love you, Don. You know, thank you all.
All right, I think he talked about you, man. He talked about you a couple times. We were sitting around, and he talked. I'm Everett. Brittenell people know me as Dwayne. When we moved to Cleveland, they made me use my first name. But you know, I don't have anything written down because every time I tried to write something down, I couldn't. You know, I look at them, I see, I said, damn, I can't write anything down. You know, so I'm trying to come from my heart. First of all, you got to understand where Donny got all of. First of all, I'm the only one in here who done got peed on. All right, who done got this on. We slept together for about 15 years in one bed. All right. So if anybody wants to say they know him, I know him. All right. I know him from the day one. All right. So, you know, he gets this passion and he gets this joy from actually, he was learned from two people. My mom is the one that showed emotion and taught us emotion, and Aunt Mary, Aunt Merle. All right, Aunt Merle, my mother's sister, you know, also taught him how to be compassionate, how to be emotional, how to be those type of things. Our families combined, and we learned a whole bunch of things about how to treat people, how people should treat you, how things should be done at a very early age, okay? So my mom's taught that. My father, Uncle Aaron, they taught us direction, all right? Direction was, hey, it was different sometimes, you know. Now, like he said, Donny never got no whooping, never got no trouble. He did. I did. All right. We, you know, so, you know, we 5 of us and we all were different. And, you know, mother and father, and I got to put my aunt and uncle in that same category, taught us how to be individuals and treated us as individuals. Now, as you can see, his love of cars. All right, all that stuff. Man, when we was 5, 6, 7 years old, I wanted a bike for Christmas, and Donny wanted a bike for Christmas. Donny got a 15-speed brand new bike because my father said he knew how to take care of stuff. He knew how to do things, and I didn't. I went and they wouldn't give me them big fat tires with the big spring. I got one of those. So he taught us how to be individuals, and you do your thing, and you be a man about it, and you do your thing, but do it with compassion and do it with love. So as we go through our little journey, you know, we're together, we're hanging, as you can see in a lot of the pictures. You know, we're right by each other and things like that. So when we moved to Cleveland, a lot of stuff we learned, we used. You know, we lived in the inner city for 1 year. Father got us out, took us out to the Heights, all right, where you can almost count in 2 hands, you know, how many blacks was there and how many blacks was doing things. But you know what? Because he had that compassion, because my mother's taught us compassion, you know who some of our best friends right there? Stand up. His 1972 basketball team. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up, Leaf and Arnie. Stand up, Leaf and Arnie. Stand up, man. These cats
right now, they stood by his side. They was friends with him. They did what he wanted to do. He did what they wanted to do, and they was good friends, and they still are best friends. That's because he learned that compassion, and he learned how to do things. Now, everybody keeps, y'all talk about this YMCA, all right, and that's good. That was the last part of his life doing that. This first part of his life, I'm like, hey, he's a phys ed teacher like me, but he didn't get a job in a regular school. He got a job at TCO. He got that job at TCO, which is, I don't know if y'all know it, that's almost like a jail. That's a jail. And he used to tell me, hey, man, I ran across a couple of your students, and then they was telling me this, they was telling me that. And, so he had that coolness and that calmness about him that, like I said, we ain't never getting no arguments. We ain't never getting now he got in fights. My brother don't know. We moved in the inner city, Empire Junior High School. He like, man, you was the quarterback of the team. You didn't have to go through nothing. But I didn't, so I had to fight my way home every night. And that's what he did. He didn't come home and say, hey, man, I got in the fight. He like, no, I'm walking home. This is where I'm going. And he fought his way. Pretty soon, Cass like, man, leave that dude alone. That dude's going to fight. Because Donny stood up for what he believed in, and he stood up for how he felt. And then, almost done. So as we go through, as we go through life, and he started working he got out of Tico and started working at Wendy's and Sisters. Man, I had students in school. They were like, man, Mr. Hurd, your brother came in. First thing he did was put on these white gloves, start doing all like this. He like, hey, man, I don't care what the food tastes like. Place can be clean. The place can be spotless. Your outfit can be nice and stuff. And, and that's the way he was. He was strict. And he just got tired of making Dave Thomas all this money. All right? And Dave Thomas promised him, all right, man, I'm going to get you a franchise. So, he got Charlie's and, ran it professionally, ran it great and stuff like that. Donny had two loves in his life. He loved that Judy, loved her to death. All right, and like I said, that was his first love. When he went, he didn't have a bunch of girlfriends. He didn't. He I like you, I'm with you. But once again, where did he learn that from? Her mom and daddy and my mom and daddy, because they was always together and they stood and we did things. So we learned all that stuff, all right? And he learned it. He looked badly when Judy passed. It hurt us all. And it's just funny how, he's in there and he meets the second love of his life. And, it's like I said, it wasn't 3, 4, 5, it wasn't nothing like that. It was like, I love these two people. And, I remember he's like, hey, man, I'm going to introduce y'all to my girl. I'm going to get married and everything. I already told her that you and Rufus was kind of wild. And I'm like, what? You told her we were kind of wild? Man, wait, what are you talking about? We're not wild. Well, I just told her that, and so on. So, that was his love of his life, and she was the love of his life. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know the love she showed my brother. Every day. Them darn nurses like, hey, he's not, but, man, she was on them. The one thing about Donny, like y'all said, he always had that mind working. I used to get mad at him. I come back to the games. I'm like, Donny, man, you had 8 points in the first quarter. Why didn't you keep shooting? No, man, everybody else got to score. Everybody else got to shoot. Everybody got to eat. And that's just the way he was. And he did it so coolly. I was like, God, we were so different, as far as stuff like that, And he did it. He was so cool. He had things coordinated. Everything was right. But like I said, we all know what he did for everybody. We all know how, everybody felt about him. We all know love. Hey, Marcus Donny, he thought it was that blue moon, didn't he? He thought us how to get that blue moon. I thought, buddy, you got the most expensive beer out here we drinking, But that was him. That was him. Got that TR7. Y'all don't remember that, See, well, I'm gonna tell you the Lincoln story. All right, he had that 1984 Lincoln, 84, 85, and he went out, got out of work, went into the Cadillac place. With his work clothes on, people looked at him, they give him time of day. Donnie like, all right, walked out, drove down to the Marks place, walked in there, treated him like a king, walked out the store with a car, brand new Mark. So that's the kind of person he was, that you give me respect, I'm going to give you respect. The last thing I'm going to say is it's funny how life goes. When I was getting put in the first grade, my mother took me to the first grade, Donnie. Once again, they were gone. They were 5, 6 years old. We 1 and 2 years old. So they wasn't around. So she went in. The lady said, like, all right, we're going to put him in the first grade. And like, how old is he? He's like, well, he's 5 years old. Oh, shoot, he can go into kindergarten. But he shouldn't have. He should have waited another year. But, 5 boys, you can get them all in school, and not be home, So he got in. But what unique is about that is because the lady don't even know who she is. Secretary said, you're old enough to come here. Come on, let's put him in. Goes to school right behind me. All right, he meets the people that he meets because he's right behind me. He goes, college. How did he go to college? My father told me to go in and ask Lee Trussell, what kind of college should my brother go to? Lee Trussell said Findlay. I went home and said Findlay. My father sent him to Findlay. And who did he meet at Findlay? Right. So it's all of a sudden, and then he's stunning around, and he's this and that, and all of a sudden, he bumps into you. I mean, this happened back in the kindergarten, 4 or 5, like you said. There's a path. There's some kind of way, and like I said, I feel great because my brother was a great cat. He was a great cat, man. He was cool, man. He was a heck of a dude. And as it says, in them pictures, he just stands out. He's a family man, and like I said, I love you, bruh. And, I know you're up there looking down, and everything's going to be great. Like I said, I love you.
Now, I'm going to tell the truth, the real truth. It was hard growing up with a family that had more boys, and you are the oldest and the only girl that had to deal with them. And Peaches, that's what we called them, Wayne and Donnie and Gary, and the one that was older was Ralph. And to deal with 5 boys, and then when they lived on Lorenz, behind them was the Shear family with all boys, and it was like 5 of them. So, and I had 2 brothers. I was the only girl, and I can't tell you some of the things, like Dwayne, Rufus was wild. He was wild. And Dwayne,
as bad as Rufus, but and Donnie, Donnie was quiet, smooth, and everything. And Ralph was the oldest, and when Ralph said something, you did it. And my mother and my aunt, they were like this. And but I have to say, I respect them, and I call them my big brothers. And I met uh, all of them and their children when they were little and stuff. But I was blessed to have brothers and to have these five brothers. And Rufus and we, I can't tell you a lot of things, but I will tell you this about Donnie. When we had to give up our flip phones, I'm not good with texting and everything. And I didn't want to do it. But Donnie would call me all the time, and he would say, "You got to learn how to text." So I learned. And on my phone now, I have not taken nothing off that Donnie texts me. And he could text. I mean, he could text. He texts. Not only did he text me, he texts our cousins in Kentucky. I have two cousins, and one of them, she died. But before she died, Donnie talked to her in the hospital, and he called them and talked to them. And it was like Donnie knew things. Donnie knew how to comfort you. I've, in our family, we've had a lot of illnesses and things. But Donnie helped me a whole lot to understand things that happen. And I'm blessed to have Donnie, Rufus, Dwayne, and then I have a brother who is next to me, and I have another brother, my youngest brother. Him and Donnie was something else. But the brother I have now, he's into cars and stuff. He had a Triumph. Donnie had a Triumph. But I was blessed, and with my aunt and everything. It's nice to be the oldest, but they are not my cousins. They are my brothers. They are my brothers. And I just can't tell you a lot of things because when Rufus went to Kent State and everything, it was wild. And Dwayne, when he said what he said, he told the truth. And Donnie was smooth. But my youngest brother and my other brother, they're my brothers too. But to grow up with a bunch of boys and boys that live behind them, you don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like. I got chased by frogs in the country and everything else. But like I said, they're not my cousins. They're my brothers. And to Donnie's wife, I really want to thank her and and all of them for coming to support me when my mom died. And that really meant a lot. And I did introduce them as my brothers and my sisters. And so thank Donnie has a lot of friends. I see him. But Donnie, he could touch your heart. He could make you understand things. And he texts everybody. And that's how I learned to text. So my brother's gonna come up. But thank you and our family.
Just real quick, I don't need a microphone. I'd be remiss if I didn't say Don's mother. When they say that Don was there, you know who was there with Don? Her mother. Her mother. Amen. So, and she explained so many great things to us calmly. And like I said, you're our mom. You're our mom.
All right. Hopefully, I can say a few things. All right. My dad has impacted everybody in this room on some sort of level. None more important than me and Marcus. He literally saved us. The compassion, um, the goodwill, his heart, his knowledge. Everybody knows that he was a great storyteller. Just the fact that he provided and gave us the resources to be who we are. The fact that he gave me his name. The fact that he made me the dad that I am. If you know me, that's what I care about the most. I know he's up there looking down. I appreciate everybody coming out. I'm just glad that he's not in pain anymore and that we can all heal together. Thank you. Love you, Dad. I couldn't do this years ago for my mom, but I'm gonna try to do it. He was he's probably my best friend the last probably 22 years. After losing my mom, he was he was a great man. Everybody in here, I know, I see. Well, I recognize all y'all, and there's more people he touched that can't be here, but um, I appreciate everybody, all the love. I'm terrible at texting and stuff, but um, I appreciate everything. He made me who I am. What my brother was trying to say was, if y'all don't know, me and him are adopted. So just let y'all know, to me, I believe God is good. I could have been anywhere. He put me and him here. They got him first. And he told me the story all the time about when they called my mom and he guessed, hey, they got another boy. So they came and get us. We got other siblings too. They're not in this family, but God put us here with him and my mom, and that came with all of y'all. So I appreciate it. And he was a great dude. He was still my dad, but he became a best friend. He still kept me in check, but we used to go out, we used to drink. I ain't gonna say everything else, but we used to go out. Yeah. We used to drink and stuff. We used to have fun. Um, he he just instilled in me. He used to always tell me, if you're hurt, walk with your chest out. So I got my swag from him. So I got the watches and all that stuff. I got it all from him. I'm just keeping it real, like, you know. But um, he's a great man. I want to thank my mom's side of the family. I want to thank Don for everything. And I told you this before. I don't know if he'd have made it the last 22 years without you. I told you that before. So, and then everything she did, I remember we went to the hospital. I thought it was a nurse. It's Dawn. Hey, boy, wait a minute. She gowned up. I'm thinking, yeah. So, she was always there for us. On my side, always there, even though they states away. His brothers, my aunts on his side, cousins, and all that. We appreciate everybody. I'm just really here to thank everybody. Everybody know my dad, but everybody just keep the faith. Don't question it. Just keep pushing forward, and everything will work itself out. Time will heal everything. So I've been through this before. So you just gotta give it time. You'll be all right. And once again, I love y'all, and I love my dad, and I'll see him again hopefully soon. So, all right, love y'all.
Good afternoon. First, it's an honor to be here in front of so many family and friends and loved ones that I heard so much about for so many years. Forgive me, I wear my heart on my sleeve. My name is Marcus Parham. I represent Ohio University. I'm an administrator and an instructor with the College of Education. And I've been with Ohio University my whole life. But I had a chance to work for Mr. Hurd for 10 years at the YMCA of Central Ohio. I'm a broken home kid. I grew up in a home with my mother and with my brother. My father is from Memphis, Tennessee. And I found myself expelled from school when I was a youngster. And so working for Mr. Hurd was not only an opportunity for me to give back, but it was an opportunity for me to learn how to become a leader. Football saved my life. I had an opportunity to play in college, and after college, I had an opportunity to work at the YMCA. During that time, Mr. Hurd taught me how to become a leader. He taught me how to sit in rooms and manage and support others. And he put me in a position to where when I was done working for him, the organization trusted me enough to become an executive director. I want everybody in this room to know Mr. Hurd not only was a leader for those that were lost, but he was also a leader for those that were top achievers. Before he ran the juvenile justice program for a quarter century, the YMCA brought him in to work with the greatest young people of color in Central Ohio under a program called the Young Black Achievers. And so Mr. Hurd had a chance to work with not only the worst in the community, but the best in the community. And in the process, he had a chance to lead and support many others. And I could tell everybody in this room that I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in currently right now if it wasn't for my guidance and my time under Mr. Hurd. And he was like a father to me. And so to see his brothers that he told me so much about, his sons and his wife and his daughter who he carried on his chest, it just means the world to me to be here. And I just want everybody to know his story from my perspective. And there is no doubt in my mind, in my 10 years of service at the YMCA, that no man deserves a branch more than him, an award in his name more than him. This service, the unwavering service, the consistent service, as Mario mentioned, that he provided to this community, it can't be matched. And there'll be individuals that will remember it and be there to make sure that his name lives on through service and through commitment and leadership, whether it's here in Central Ohio or in other areas. And I just thank you for your time today and give me a chance to speak.
Hi, everybody. So I probably am like one of the newest people that Mr. Hurd was able to encounter. My name is Shania, and I currently work for the YMCA PALS program. I met Mr. Hurd last year in July. I was doing an internship. I had worked with all the different departments within the Y, and he was the last one. He was on vacation at the time, and I was told that he was a great man, and I would love him and everything. And when I met him, it all came into fruition. He had a light that brightened my life. When we talk about second chances and things like that, I think Don probably gave me like my fifth chance in life. So I messed up a couple of times in the past or whatever, but he believed in me. And this last year of knowing him, I have grown so much just off of his encouragement, him believing in me. And not only that, I got to meet amazing people because of him. This young lady that stands beside me, she also has her own relationship with him, and she also works for PALS, but she is a very close friend of mine. And without Don, I wouldn't have met her. There's two people in the back who've been carrying me since I got put on the team. And I know that they are who they are because of him. Just simply because of the stories that he's told me, the interactions that we've shared. So I want to say thank you to Don for propelling me to where I am. Like, I finally feel like an adult, like an achiever, and I wholeheartedly believe that's because Don took a chance on me. Things have been rough these past few months. We have been at a couple different crossroads, but something is keeping me with PALS. So I'm here to stay. I want to say to Miss P, Laura, Mr. C, Wayne, I love you guys, and I'm so happy that you guys are here and stayed on for Don. And I'm happy I got to meet y'all. I'm so happy to be here and see all the faces that Don would talk about, the stories. It just brings the stories to life, seeing y'all, and it's very comforting. It took a lot for me to come up here and say something, but we're going to continue Don's legacy. We're going to keep it going as long as we can. And he got a good team. He got a good team. PALS is going to continue as long as it can, and you guys can rely on us to keep his legacy alive. And thank you for having me, and thank you for keeping Don, and thank you for helping him be the great man that he was. And yeah, that's all I have to say, but I wanted to come and say that and address everybody. Thank you again.
All right, guys, I'm Tish. I also work with PALS. Don also took a chance on me, and I never forget when he first hired me. He was like the swaggiest black man I ever met as a boss. You know, he came in with his chain. He had his watch on. He was creased up, and I liked the vibe. The forces, yeah, he was very clean, and I was like, yeah, I want to work for this guy. He's funny. Now, most of you guys don't know me, obviously, but I know quite a few of you guys without having ever met y'all. Um, haven't ever met y'all. I mean, Don has talked about both of his sons, his wife, and I just want to say, thank you guys for letting us come here, and I hope that, like she said, we can keep Pals alive, keep his mission going. And I just want to leave you with one thing, because Don, we had a couple trouble students in the past, and these days the young kids, they have whatever hairstyles they have, and Don was a no nonsense guy. So if you're coming in there with some type of do rag on, you can forget it. You got to take it off. And I remember one kid said, "Well, Miss Tish, I can't take it off because I didn't get a haircut, right?" And I said, "Well, let me talk to my guy real quick and see what we can do about it. I didn't want to be clowned in front of a bunch of kids." And Don opened his wallet up, and he said, "Oh, okay, Miss Tish, man, all right, we're gonna go ahead and get him a haircut." And Don handed me $5 whole, y'all. $5 for this haircut. And I looked at Don and I said, "Don, I don't know that $5 is going to get the man what he needs." So needless to say, y'all, he was always there for the kids, there for the community. And, I hope that his legacy lives on. And thank y'all.
Praise the Lord, everybody. Oh, I will bless the Lord at all times. His praises will always be on my lips. I can say that because the Lord blessed me to have a friend named Don Hurd. Didn't think I would be this emotional. Don and I met each other in college. We were both 19 years old. I was 19, Don was 18. He had that late birthday. And we spent 4 years together, probably as close as you can be with someone, including